Hi friends, and welcome to my channel. My name is Ryan, and this is a place where I love sharing my insights and my own little world here. And today I want to be talking about the metaphor of reaching the seventh day of creation. And I'm calling this, are we in the end times or the end result? And it's going to be an interesting talk about what Neville Goddard always talks about, living in the end result. The seventh day of creation where God rested. Where most of the world is living in the doomsday scenario of something called the end times. And to cross that bridge is to understand who you are. I hope you'll join me on this little philosophical journey to the seventh day of creation. Grab a cup of coffee and join me in my little sanctuary here. I think we need time in our day to wonder about our existence. And I've got the dog here and my cup of coffee. And I want to explore living in the end result. And the oft-used cliche, it all works out in the end. This is kind of a myth. It all works out in the end. And you can examine your life, and you probably have come to that conclusion yourself. It all works out in the end, we say. I've been through a divorce. I've been through several hospitalizations, surgeries. I have lost several best friends and close relatives. I've had to put pets down. I've lost jobs. I have been broke. I have experienced extreme suffering. Yet, once I endure it, once it passes, once I get through the inflammation, so to speak, the disturbance, I strangely can look back on my life and say, well, that's interesting. It all worked out in the end. It has a strange, restful, conclusive state, kind of like a piece of music. Like a good piece of music comes to a real satisfying conclusion. And there are turbulent moments, you know. But in the end, you'll come home and take off your clothes and get into something comfortable and do like me and prop up your feet. And you'll have this restful state, which is something we chase. This is the perpetual retirement that we never get to, because we're too busy chasing those things that we think will put us in that restful state. And everything ends up being doomsday, or what you would call the end times. But you have to contemplate your state of being if all of your goals were accomplished. All of them. If you live 80 years, what would it be like if you lived 80 years and everything you ever wanted to do in your life was done? How would you be? What would your state of being be? Oh. Every single thing that we've been through as humans worked out in the end. Even the fall of the Roman Empire worked out in the end. Even if the government collapses, it seems to work out in the end. That's because there is no end like that. There's no end times. And the mind is this insidious loop that puts you in the gutter. But even if you live in the gutter, it'll work out in the end. See, the thing is, you must face your worst fear. You must. And that is death. If you really, I'm always talking about death, but it's very important for us to contemplate death. If you think death is a problem, you will always live in a state of fear and panic, because that ultimately will be your end. You think you're just going to wake up, you're going to stay conscious in the body and be locked in a coffin. That is until you realize death is not problematic, you see. The mind is linear and sees a beginning and an end, and sees life as the eyeball opening when you're a baby and the eyeball closing when you're an old person. And that's what it sees, the beginning and the end. But that is not what it is. It's a parenthesis in eternity, a temporary visit, if you will, to what seems like an unfamiliar place. Death seems unfamiliar, but it's not. You know it's coming. How can you be unfamiliar with what's inevitable? You have to do some living before you can do some relieving, okay? I'm 50 years old, and I'm finally coming to the truth that it all works out, not in the end. That's an illusion. It's always working out. I don't care what it looks like. Now, it's working out. It's working out if there's a war. It's working out if there is a debt collector. It's working out if there's a foreclosure notice. It's working out if there's a hospitalization. It's working out if someone gets shot. It's working out if you have to put your pet down. It's working out if you have to attend a funeral. It's working out if you have to go before the judge. It's working out if you have a difficult financial situation. It's working out if you have to go in front of a lawyer and give a deposition. It's working out if you're being sued. Those look like external inflammations. To me, the secret is to quietly rebel against it. Quietly deny that what you see is unsolvable. And the reason why we can't solve our problems is because they are solved already. All this calculating and figuring out how you're going to do this, that, and the other thing is futility, because it is done. It is finished. And this thing that you're trying to figure out, this problem, this, end times, we're just in the end times, we're in the end times, oh my God. It's like forgetting that there's a few more pages left in the novel that you've been given. It's like getting to this point in the novel and you think, we're doomed. But you know in the back of your mind, there's a few more pages, so maybe there's something. And you're wanting to do something about a problem is premature. You're jumping to conclusions. You don't have enough information. And all this heat that you feel trying to solve your problems can be relieved if you turn that intensity, that futility of insidious mind activity, turn it upon shine the light not on your problems, because that's not a problem, but shine your light on those who don't see the truth yet, that it's all working out. Either you know it always is working out, or you one of these people that think we're in the end times. Have you crossed over yet? If you've crossed over yet, of course, you're going to help others. One of the things they advise of people who are participating in a native sweat lodge, where they put these hot rocks inside of a teepee. I've known of 2 people who have done this. I haven't done it, but I'd like to. And the heat gets so intense, they say that if you can't take the heat, if you feel like you're going to die, pray for your brother. Pray for your neighbor. Take the heat off of yourself. Me and my problems, me and what am I going to do, and me and I'm facing this and I'm facing this. I'm facing this disease. I'm facing this custody battle. I'm facing this job loss. Oh, what do I do? What do I do? What do I do? There are those people that understand it's always working out. Success is inevitable. And death is a success. It's a win. You're going to die. That's something we are privileged in knowing. So rather than spinning your wheels, trying to figure it out, give yourself more time. And watch how it solves itself. This is wisdom. And you realize, oh my God, it solves itself. Strangely enough, if I turn my focus off of this wheel-spinning, insidious shit and help my neighbor, be a light for my neighbor, I am now the light, and me and my problems, the intensity goes away. That means fear is a false god. And you will not bow down to fear. You will have been in the 7th day of creation, living, relieving others. The price that you pay for worry is anxiety. That's the price for worry, to live in that distrustful state. Yours truly lived in that distrustful state for a long time, and the price was anxiety, health problems, no fun, no play. So what Neville Goddard is talking about, living in the end result, it's not necessarily a static image. It's living in a blind faith that you're not doing anything about your problems. You don't know enough to have a problem. Isn't that a naive way to live? How many times have things resolved themselves when you just quietly given yourself a little more time? It's the meddling people that think we're in end times. They keep checking on nature. These are the people that stare at boiling pots, wondering, is this thing ever going to boil? Leave it alone. Once you leave it alone, once you let go, once you understand, you can be in a trusting state, a naive, childlike, innocent state. Your goal would be to show others how to be that way. Some people are completely inconsolable. Their light is too intensely focused on trying to figure out something that has already been figured out. It is done. That's the end result. So you're going to live on the 7th day of creation where God is resting. You see? always in perpetual resting. And okay, so if you don't have any problems anymore, if you don't have any goals anymore, if you don't have any desires anymore, show others how to be in that restful state. Be the light rather than shining the light on myself and me and me and me and me. That's like going on the worst date in ever. You go on a date and all this person can do is talk about themselves. And what they've done and their challenges. Those of us like me, I'm over it. I'm interested in people who are over it, who have crossed over. Have turned the light off of themselves and me and myself. And are living in this relieved state, the seventh day. That helps you, turns the heat off of you. If you've got a lot of problems, if you have financial problems, if you have health problems, if you have mental problems, if you have situational problems, turn the light off of that. And shine the light on your neighbor. And the heat goes down on you, and you realize it's just heat. It's just internal intensity. It has nothing to do with your situation. You can't figure out your situation because it's already done. This is about finding that inner stillness no matter what it looks like on the end. Go to the end. Go to everything that looks like the end. Death, death, death. I'm afraid to die. I'm afraid to die. I'm afraid to die. Well, guess what? You're dying. It's finished. That means you're going to live forever. And if you're already in that end result, you're living forever. Hooray! You're in heaven. You're in the seventh day. You're relieving. Now, go help God. And I'm putting my quotey fingers out there because there are people who do not know about this seventh day kind of stuff. So you're going to be someone else. You're going to be God for someone else. Because guess what? Someone else was God for you. When you didn't know any better. When you were just spinning your wheels insidiously, somebody came along and helped you. That's what God is. A human being helping another human being. And playing the role of help and helpless. For those of us who are no longer helpless, we must now be helpers, you see. And you may be converting to that realm. There's no God in the sky that's going to reach down and give you a miracle. We are all playing roles here. But the universe takes care of itself. That's the way to think about it. And it all works out in the end, meaning it's working out now. And if you can go to the end result and live in that state of perpetual relief, you will express yourself. You will no longer be inconsolable. You will be the consoler. That's a wonderful place to be. There's no more, it's the end times. It's the end times. Well, those people are inconsolable. You got some work to do. Go make something soothing and beautiful for your neighbor. And watch how it takes the heat off of you and your so-called problems. And I appreciate you joining me this morning. My name is Ryan. The shirtless guy sitting here in his own little world, early in the morning. I have nothing to prove, nothing to show. I've taken the spotlight off of anything that appears problematic. Let's be the light. And stop shining the light on me and my problems. If you turn the light out into a different direction, there's no heat. There's just truth that sets you free. Please check out my blog. It's called MyMorningMotivator.com.